Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a piece of tech that's quietly making AI so much smarter. It's an architecture, and it tackles one of the biggest, most fundamental problems these models have.
So, let's start with a problem I bet you've seen before. You ask an AI a question, right? Maybe about something that just happened, or a new product. And the answer you get back is, well, weirdly out of date. Or even worse, it's just made up. So why does that happen?
Well, it all comes down to what I kind of think of as the AI's Achilles heel. I mean, think about it. The model has this hard knowledge cutoff, so it's basically frozen in time. Then you've got those infamous AI hallucinations where it just confidently makes stuff up. And you can't just fix this with a simple update because the cost to retrain these massive models is astronomical. And if that wasn't enough, your standard AI, it's completely walled off from the most valuable info out there. Your company's private, up-to-the-minute data, all locked away in silos.
So how do you fix all that without having to rebuild the AI from the ground up every single time? Well, the answer is a really elegant little architecture called RAG.
All right, let's unpack that. RAG. It stands for Retrieval, Augmented Generation. And honestly, the name itself tells you everything you need to know. At its heart, it's this super clever setup that lets an AI model reach outside its own brain, to go look at external, current information. And the best part, it does this without having to change the core model at all.
The best way to get your head around this is with an analogy. A standard AI? It's like a student in a closed book exam. It can only use what it's already memorized. But an AI with RAG, well, it gets to take an open book test. It can literally look up the answers in a trusted library of current info before it says anything back to you.
And that simple shift, just going from a closed book to an open book test, it has huge benefits. It completely changes the game for what you can do with AI, both in business and really everywhere else.
And the payoff is like immediate. Your answers are suddenly current. Those weird hallucinations, they basically disappear because the AI is now grounded in actual facts, not just what it remembers. And this leads to the single biggest win, trust. A RAG system can actually cite its sources, kind of like showing its work on a math problem. Plus, it's way more cost-effective. You can forget about that expensive retraining. And since your private data stays separate from the model, you get a massive security boost too.
Now, a lot of people get RAG mixed up with another technique called fine-tuning. And it's an easy mistake to make because they both try to make AI smarter, but they are fundamentally different. Fine-tuning is like sending the AI back to school. You're permanently teaching it something new by retraining it on a new pile of data. It's slow, it's expensive. RAG, on the other hand, doesn't change the AI's brain at all. It just gives it the right textbook to look at right when it needs it.
Okay, so how does this whole open book testing actually work? Like, what's happening in that split second between you asking a question and the AI giving you that much smarter answer? Let's pop the hood and take a look.
It's basically a 5-step dance that happens in a flash. First, you ask your question. Step 2. The system zips over to a connected knowledge base, say your company's database, and retrieves relevant info. Then, step 3, it pulls out the most important facts from that info. Here's the magic. Step 4, it combines your original question with these new facts to create something called an augmented prompt. And finally, it hands that supercharged prompt to the AI, which can now generate a way more accurate and helpful answer.
So you see? The whole secret is right there in the name. It retrieves data, it augments the prompt, and then it generates a response. Retrieval, augmented, generation. That simple, powerful loop is what makes this whole thing tick.
But with great power comes great responsibility, right? There's a critical risk here. To search all that data super fast, RAG systems turn text into these numerical codes called vector embeddings. Think of it like a secret language for the machines. But as this quote points out, if someone breaches that database, a savvy attacker could potentially reverse engineer those codes and get back to the original sensitive data. So securing that external knowledge base, it's not just important, it's literally everything.
And this isn't just some theory on a whiteboard. RAG is out there in the wild right now solving real business problems. In fact, you've probably interacted with it and didn't even know it. It's powering a whole new wave of tools. And it's really no surprise that the biggest use case right now is specialized chatbots.
I mean, it makes sense, right? They're the perfect example of something that absolutely needs specific, current information to be useful. But RAG is also the engine behind some seriously sophisticated research platforms, internal knowledge bases for companies, and even tools for doing market analysis on the fly.
So what does that actually look like in your daily life? Well, it's that customer support bot that actually knows the new return policy. It's the personal assistant on your phone that can actually remember what you talked about yesterday. It's the financial analyst who can pull real-time market data directly into a report. Or it's that e-commerce site that recommends a product based not on what was popular last year, but on what's literally in stock at this very moment.
When you boil it all down, RAG is about one simple, powerful idea: connecting these incredible AI brains to information you can actually trust. It makes AI more reliable, more secure, and just infinitely more useful. And that brings us to a really fascinating final thought. Just imagine, if you could connect an AI to all of your company's data, I mean everything, all its history, its knowledge, its insights, what would be the very first question you'd ask it? The possibilities there are pretty incredible to think about.